Hey guys, the engineer still sucks, but in today's video, I'm going to tell the devs how to properly buff this unit. Let's go. Before I go on my rants, make sure you guys head on over to my website, LTkrazy.com. There's going to be a link in the pinned comment. On here, guys, we're doing a big giveaway for all you awesome subscribers out there. Go to the giveaway page, scroll on down, and the next giveaway is going to be hosted at 570,000 subs. So guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the channel. Let's get there. We're going to give away another awesome ultimate. Now, on top of that, I did actually, in fact, add all the new units onto the site so you guys get all those values so you don't get scammed in the trading plaza anymore. So happy trading, and let's get on to our rants. So here we go. Now, to do this, guys, I'm just going to hop into a match, and I'm actually just going to kind of play with them here and kind of show you guys like what this guy's all about in case you are maybe new to the game or just don't know what the engineer really is. But let me just first say, the engineer is one of, if not the oldest and rarest units in the game. He was the first crate, like way back then. He was a 1% chance. Only like 20,000 actually exists right now. So that just gives you guys a little bit of an idea on how rare this guy actually is and how few people probably, have him out of all the millions of players who actually came through this game and, played it, even if it was once or twice or still played it this day. Only 20,000 in the entire world actually have him. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's very important because there's another troop out there called the Chief Clockman, and that guy is a lot more common and a lot more better. So there's a lot of issues going on, especially with that guy. Now, let me say why here, okay? So the engineer, let's just kind of go over what he does, who he is, what, everything about him, right? Now, placing him down, very cheap. And once you max him out, which I'll show you guys in a little bit, once we get further and further on in this match, he actually has a new ability and a new spawning unit because the developers actually recently buffed him because, once again, for all intent purposes here, he sucked before this video and he still sucks after they buffed him. So that is very unfortunate, but now at least he does up to 250,000 ally health, right? Now, back in the day, like maybe a month ago, he was only doing 50,000. All right, so that just kind of hopefully paints the picture here on how bad he really was, and then they buffed him, made it at least a little bit better. But keep in mind, guys, the Chief Clockman, guess what? He does, I think, 500,000 ally health with the Clock Spider. Now, on top of that, what else does the Chief Clockman do? Well, he could send a unit back to the start of the track with one of his abilities. All right, so that's one thing that, as you guys can see here, I can click this guy. There's no ability. I can't do anything with the engineer. He's just useless. He just sits there, right? Now, what else? What else? All right, well, let's keep going here. So, the Chief Clockman, if I were to put him down, like right here, right? And let's say I had some other units around me, and it was like the Aqua Titan or something, right? That does like single target damage. Well, what's good about the Chief Clockman is he buffs that Aqua Titan's range, right? By 15%. Yeah, that's a lot. That's better than the Leprechaun, of course, for obvious reasons, by 5% there. Now, this engineer here, does he buff anyone? Absolutely not. He actually doesn't do anything. So right there, right then and there, guys, to the developers, hopefully Evan or Talantric end up watching this video. I hope they do, and maybe even at least consider some of these things. But guys, let me just say something. It doesn't make sense that one of the rarest units in the game, for the early supporters in the game, that have this guy, that, spent money and try to get this guy here, this guy should be the best. I don't care. He's the rarest one. He should be the best. I mean, I know you guys are making him better. That's great. At least you understand. But he's still nowhere even close to as good as the Chief Clockman. And, I get it. That guy, you can keep him as good as he is. Don't nerf him. Nerfing units is the worst. I hate that. I hate that in Call of Duty when they nerf like a good gun or just any type of game like that where they start nerfing stuff. That is just the stupidest thing ever. Buffing stuff is what helps out games, I feel like, in my opinion. So how are we going to do this now? Well, this guy, if you want to give me an incentive to actually use the engineer, let me tell you one thing you could do. Let this guy have some sort of buff ability. Make the range 20%. Bang. Just like that, I may, in fact, use this guy on my team. I may want this guy. If I get a 20% range boost, that is insane. I would totally add him in. But the way it is right now, why the heck would I use an engineer when I could get a better unit that spawns in enemies, that has It's not enemies, but spawns in friendly units like this toilet right here, right? It spawns them in with 500,000 HP instead of 250 like this guy. Also, you want to know what the Chief Clockman does if you guys have never used that really good unit? He throws TNT that does splash damage to every enemy on the track. If I had one Chief Clockman down right here, guys, all these guys are going to die. Just to that one Chief Clockman, due to the TNT. Not even the clock spiders alone. So 500,000 HP on the spiders, and that's like every 20 or 25 seconds. Plus, he's throwing TNT and doing splash damage. What's this guy doing? He's just sitting there. Look at him. He thinks he's cool. Yeah, he's sparkling. That's what this guy's ability is, guys. He sits there and he sparkles and shines. Great. Great unit right there. Thank you, engineer. I'm glad you're on my team. You're such a good guy. All right. Outside of that, though, what else? So, you know, obviously, like I'm saying here, if you don't get my point, adding in some sort of attack would be great. You know, it doesn't have to be completely strong. Like, what if it was a piercing attack? That way I could add an engineer right here, right? And then he's, like, piercing the enemies down the track like that. Or, like, you know, just something like that. That's just an idea. It could be AoE. It could be splash. It could even be single target. I don't care. Make him have an ability, an attack, something like that. That's great. Now, let's go back to the word I just said, ability. We've already talked about it in this video. The Chief Clockman has that ability. Well, why not make the engineer have some sort of ability as well? Where, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of different things you could think of. I'm sure you could do some sort of lightning strike, just like the Golden Future has. You could do the same thing that the Chief Clockman has. Send the strongest enemy to the back. Maybe you could do something where well, the freezing one doesn't really make sense because it's not the clock unit one. So maybe something like that. I don't know. That just depends. Maybe it does some sort of huge buff like the Mech Bunny Titan has. Like something like insane where it buffs like all the near troops like in a certain little radius here by a lot. Like better than like the DJ TV. What if it was like for like 10, 20 seconds? Everything's buffed by like 30% or 35%. So like maybe 50. I don't make it something good. I don't know. Like that's something that can be worked out internally, but you know, make it something really cool, right? And that would be very awesome. And on top of that, just let's go back to like the ally DPS and the ally health here. I mean, guys, we gotta be real here with ourselves. Once again, why does the Chief Clockman have 500k health and this guy only has 250? Doesn't make sense. We gotta either make it equal or make this guy better. He's rare and he should be better. So simple as that. I mean, make the rare units good, right? I mean, people are, you want to get the rare units because they're good and they should be hard to get. Not like the value of this engineer is just like pointless because like no one wants to use him. You gotta have a reason that you gotta use this guy. There's just nothing this guy has outclasses the Chief Clockman. There's just nothing. Like, make some trade-offs. Trade-offs are good. You don't have to make this guy completely better. But the way it stands now, the Chief Clockman's completely better, so maybe they don't care. Maybe they will make this guy better. I don't know. But he definitely needs a buff again. I just want to ask you guys right now, do you agree with me or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. But there's just so many things. We can just go on and on and on. Now, the next one, do you guys have any idea on what I'm going to say next? Because this next one, it just blows my mind. All right, watch this. So, put this guy down here. Put this guy down here. And can I put down one more? My fifth one. Oh, I reached my limit replacing the engineer cameraman. What do you mean I reached my limit? I could put down 20 Chief Clockmans and they're once again 10 times better. Why is there a limit on how many engineers I could place, guys? That just doesn't add up. Get the calculator, try to add this little scenario up here, guys, because it doesn't make any sense. None of this does. Please, devs, watch this video. Help us out here. At least drop a comment. Let's hear your side of the story here on this guy. I really think that the engineer deserves some love in this game. You gotta make him worth using. Like I said, he doesn't have to be like the position where the Chief Clockman is in now, or he's like completely better than every other spawner in the game, but make him have a reason to use him. There's still no reason. Like, maybe have a limit of 5 and give him like maybe 1,000,000 HP health on the tanks or something like that. Give him like, I don't know, the DPS on him. What's it right now? It's I think if I look at this max guy here, you can get up to 7,500. So that's not really that good. I mean, maybe make that DPS like 25,000 or something and still have 1,000,000 HP health. I just don't know, guys. There's got to be something. One cool thing though that they did fix about this guy, so that this is a plus, you can actually buff the cooldown on him. So like it was at 20 there if you guys noticed like 2 seconds ago. Now it's at 16. So having like a DJ down is actually helpful with this guy, so just keep that in mind. The DJ is actually somewhat good for this dude, so anyone that is wondering about that is actually buffable. But the one thing that's not buffable is his damage. You can only buff his cooldown. So I don't know why the banana bench isn't buffable, but there's just so many questions here that are not answered. They keep trying to make him better, but I think that they really need to hopefully watch this video and at least just like be like, hey LT, we're not listening to your stupid ideas. It's not gonna happen. The engineer's gonna stay how he is. And if that's the case, all right, case closed. We don't have to worry about him ever again. Just put him in the inventory. Actually, everyone just sell your engineers because there's no point in having one other than just as a vanity item in your inventory. That's it, because he's useless. And if they, be like, oh, you know what? LT's actually got an idea. Well, great. That's going to be great. Hopefully they make it worth it. And then one day we can bring back a unit that used to be so cool playing and using way back when this game first came out. I don't know if you guys were there for those glory days of TTD, but man, when I first pulled my first engineer, I was so excited to use it because he was so good at the start of the game, because obviously the units and enemies were a lot weaker. But nowadays, guys, this is a unit that literally just collects dust in my inventory. So it's a sad day. If you guys like this rant video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, maybe tag Palantric or Evan in this video, and hopefully they see it and make this guy a little teeny tiny bit better. Hopefully a lot better. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.